Good start, baby. Good start. Smell that? You smell that? It smells like football. Smells like football. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We have OTAs back. Today is the day the San Francisco 49ers will be ascending, descending, whichever word, whatever. They will be headed to Santa Clara today for OTAs. We're back, baby. We're back. Let's go. I'm super, super excited to talk a little bit of football. We're going to talk a lot about what to expect today from OTAs. We've got some reports. We've got all kinds of stuff coming out about this team heading into OTAs. Who's going to be there? Who's not going to be there? So we're going to talk about that all. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Drop an SDS into the chat if you're vibing with your boy. We see all the squad hopping in here. Let's go. Shout out to SDS. We see the family. I hope you guys had a phenomenal weekend. Everything went exactly as you had hoped for and wished for, and had a fantastic time. I'm very excited today. Very excited. We're going to get some football. Hopefully, we're going to get some clips from the 49ers and or beat reporters so we can look at some stuff. But my goodness, I can't wait, guys. We're so close. We're so close. When we get this little taste with OTAs, we're going to have OTAs throughout the end of this week, a little bit into next week. We're going to have mandatory mini camp. Then we're going to go on a sabbatical. Then it's going to be peak off-season vibes from there on out. But right now, we're going to get a little bit of taste of football. We're going to get some guys back into the building. And of course, we're going to get some football. So I'm really, really excited about that. How about those? How about them Warriors? How about them Warriors? Let's go. Feels phenomenal to be a Dubs fan. And again, guess who popped up in Texas yesterday? Who could it have been? We haven't talked about him in a while. Ever since, you refollow the San Francisco 49ers on Instagram. It's been really quiet about this particular player. But hey, we got some Deebo Samuel sightings. We also got some Deebo Samuel news. So let's get into some of that. And if you didn't see it, look at the homie. Deebo Samuel was sitting courtside. I think he was on like the second row, technically courtside. But look who it is. It's Deebo. Hey, and it's Draymond Green. You gotta love it. Game respects game. You had Draymond Green. So I don't know if he actually gave him the jersey, because I think you can kind of tell in this particular picture right here. He's like ripping part of his jersey off. Do you see that? Like, I don't know if he actually got the jersey. I think he got a I think he got a piece of the jersey. I don't know if he got the whole thing, but I know he got a piece of it. But still, super cool situation for Draymond Green to come up off the court right after beating the Mavs, taking a 3-0 lead and getting a piece of Draymond's jersey. I think I don't know if he got the whole thing, but we also did get to see two legends at their craft. Now, I think we can confirm that Deebo did, in fact, get the Curry jersey. So, didn't he got a piece of the Draymond jersey, but he did get the Curry jersey. So again, we got to see Deebo Samuel basically on the eve of OTAs in Dallas, Texas, I believe, is where the Mavs reside. So as you guys know, Warriors take a 3-0 lead over the Mavs. Gonna come back to San Francisco to finish the job and head to the championship. I need a Dubs championship. It's been a while. Ooh, it's been a while, and it's been phenomenal watching these boys thrive. But it is cool to see Deebo Samuel and all these guys interact. It's been really, really cool. But also, let's transition the Deebo Samuel sighting at the game last night to Deebo Samuel news. We got some news earlier today from Ian Rapoport. Uh, Deebo Samuel will not be at OTAs. Let me repeat. Deebo Samuel will not be at OTAs. Now, do we freak out? Do we go, oh no, here we go again? Well, let's preface it a little bit. The fact that Deebo Samuel is not at OTAs isn't necessarily a huge concern. However, understanding the context of the situation, understanding that Deebo is still in the middle of this kind of uh tumultuous contract negotiation, I think is a good word to kind of describe it. Deebo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers still have yet to come together from anything that we've heard or know to be able to work towards a long term contract extension because, as we all know, Deebo Samuel requested a trade. He almost got traded, I think, but from all accounts, the San Francisco 49ers did not get the return that they had anticipated or needed in order to actually feel comfortable making this move, which I think we can all take a step back and we can look at and say, yeah, that made sense. Based on the information that we heard about what the Jets offered up, what the Lions offered up, not enough for Deebo Samuel. So we all knew in order for Deebo Samuel to actually get moved, it would need the 49ers would have needed a haul in return. They did not get it. Therefore, Deebo Samuel remains. And as we know, follows the 49ers, calms the storm. But we still don't know how things are progressing. So at least up until this point, the outward noise has stopped. We still don't really know what's going on internally, but this is a start of an indication of maybe where they're at or where they're not. So with Deebo Samuel not showing up to OTAs, however, it's not a surprise. It does continue to be something to monitor, and now something that we shift towards mandatory minicamp. Again, OTAs are they're not mandatory. So you can choose to show up, you can choose not to show up. So if a player isn't at OTAs, it's not the end of the world. He doesn't theoretically have to be there. And we'll talk about that about another player coming up soon. When we start to put our little radars up with Deebo Samuel and not showing up is mandatory minicamp because, of course, it is mandatory. When we look at that situation, we want him to be there. We want him to be in the building. And I'll show a clip here of Ian Rapoport update, more defined update on the current contract status of Deebo Samuel and kind of where the negotiations lie. And I'll allow Ian Rapoport to speak to it a little bit more eloquently than I can. But the fact remains that the moving target where I think we start to really start to ring the sirens of concern are mandatory minicamp. So when mandatory minicamp comes around, then we will have a little bit more idea there of what is going to be going on. So again, first particular target, we're not. I don't think we should be surprised that Deebo isn't at OTAs. We should have almost expected that Deebo Samuel wasn't going to be at OTAs. So I don't think that's much of a concern, but it is on par with the current situation and the current status quo regarding this particular contract negotiation. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up the report from Ian Rapoport. He went on with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee's a legend, bro. Pat McAfee's turning into one of the best like media guys out there, in my opinion. He had George Kittle on last week. Now he has Ian Rapoport on to talk about this situation. So let's take a listen, and we'll then discuss a little bit more about the current contract negotiation status for Deebo Samuel. We'll then transition that into how that impacts Alex Mack and other things as we look at OTAs coming up here for the San Francisco 49ers. So let's take a listen. Let me know that you can hear all good, and we will get this thing rolling.
Are they going to figure that out? Because it sounded like Kittle chatted with Deebo last week. They didn't talk business or anything, but they have a great relationship. Kittle complimented him immensely. Sounds like you all think that the Niners are going to get it figured out with him on their time. Is that still how you feel, or what's going to happen with Deebo? And what is Tory Dondy thinking about it all now at this point?
Well, I would say I think they can get it settled. I don't believe it is settled right now. And there's a lot of work that has to be done. Like, this is when a player asks for a trade, basically says he does not want to be there, and it has nothing to do with the contract. Because remember, he basically told them, don't offer me a contract. I'm not going to take it. I want to be traded. There's some work that has to get done. Kyle Shanahan is very charismatic and also very good at making sure football players are good at their jobs, right? He's a great play designer, and he has helped Deebo Samuel become like the dynamic weapon he has been. So I think they could get it worked out, but they are not there yet. And it has more to do with just contract. Like, I think the fact that the 49ers drafted a running back in the mid-rounds, I believe third round, if I remember correctly, was actually valuable and important, because then he doesn't have to be used as a running back as much as maybe he was last year. That is probably an important part of this, along with other things like contract and whatever else.
He wouldn't mind being a running back if they would just pay him for it as well.
Good point.
I don't think so. I think it's more career longevity. And, running backs, it hurts. You get injured all the time. You have short careers. Like, you see the contracts of running backs, like, it's different. As a receiver, those guys are getting paid like nothing we've ever seen, and you could play into your 30s as a receiver.
Fascinating. So I just assumed that if they would pay him for, top dollar wide receiver with a bonus running back thing on top of that for however many snaps, that he would be cool with it. But I guess he's thinking like 8-10 years into the future, he'd like to continue just be able to do his thing like we're seeing Devontae be able to do and others. All right. Fascinating. Hope it all gets worked out, by the way. Yeah. Will he be at mandatory? He would be at minicamp then, or you're thinking?
That one I do not know. You can do a couple different ways. You can do this, the hold in, you can do the hamstring pull, the back, the migraines, or you can make a bigger statement and say, I'm not going to show up, fine me. And then, usually if you get a contract, they kind of erase the fines. And that is a possibility. If he's there for minicamp, then there's probably a good chance the team will pull him aside and try to talk to him and try to work this out in person. So I think if he's there, this could go a long way to fixing this. But I don't know for sure if he's going to be there.
Socks are the number one most requested.
Oh, boy.
Underwear is number 2.
Oh, boy.
And t-shirts are number 3.
So I think Ian Rapoport did a phenomenal job there of kind of laying it out for what we should be looking for, where some of the concerns may lie, what we should expect. And I think the moving target is mandatory minicamp. Now, again, we would love Deebo to be at OTAs. We would. But we also understand what's at stake when we get to minicamp, mandatory minicamp, and just like Ian identified, is he going to be hurt during minicamp? Does he show up and say he's hurt, so he's not participating? Or does he not show up at all? I think obviously the more concerning thing is that if he doesn't show up, if he doesn't show up and just like Ian kind of identified and says, fine me, that I think will be our indicator that obviously the San Francisco 49ers, Deebo Samuel, are still at a bit of odds with each other. Obviously, we want to see this thing figured out. We want to see some clarity. We just want this to be figured out. It's pretty much what it comes down to. It's all it comes down to. But anyways, I do want to take a quick break because I do know really quickly 49ers media saying we got 115 people in here, 41 likes. San Francisco, we have a problem. Hit that like button. Not only do me a favor, smash that like button, but I have a proposition. I know we have some Facebook folks in here. I see my guy just hopped in here right now. So I have a proposition for some of my Facebook folks or anyone who does use Facebook, who, because if you guys know, the mod squad here in the SDS is by far the best mod squad, probably the only mod squad that I have seen. And right now, they're top tier. Top tier. But I do need some help. And if anyone is open to being a mod for a different platform, we have openings, and I'll show you what I am talking about here in a second. If you do want the opportunity to be a mod of the SF Niners fan chat group on Facebook, currently have over 5,000 members, but I need some help. I need some help. Obviously, you guys know I'm running content all over the place, but I am looking for mods. You can already see we're getting some mods up in the building. Shout out Lucas, new mod squad member. Shout out Evan, new mod squad member. If you want to be a mod squatter for this particular Facebook group, now you guys know we're locked in on YouTube, but I need some help on Facebook. If you want to help out, you want to be a mod on this particular group, help grow it, help put out sick 49ers content, and give you an opportunity to post some stuff that can get viewed by a lot of people, drop onto this little post that I did right here. Let me see. Can I even pin it? I'll pin it as a featured. And you drop in, say, I want to be a mod. I will make you a mod, and you can help make this little community right here grow even bigger than what it is. Gammon says, I would like to be a mod. Let's go. Pop on over. Tell me you want in. I got you. I got you. Look, we got a bunch of Facebook peeps in here. I got you. You got me. I got you. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got here? Eric says, imagine they make a residency hat like that, but white letters with black outline like the 49ers throwback uniforms. Ooh, I do know that residency has some fire on the way. So we're going to be doing another unboxing shortly. Dude, residency is dropping some fire SF hats. So make sure you guys are all over that because they go fast. I'm not joking. Like, they sell out so fast. The top hats that you like to see. Again, right now, we even got a new Shanna hat. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen the new Shanna hat? And I love that it's a residency cap, but the new Shanna hat is in. It's spice. I'll show it really quickly just because it's so sick. The new Shanna hat, you can see right here. Woo! Look at Coach, baby. Look at Coach. Gotta love it, man. Look at Coach. And you remember, I had the old Shanna hat around here somewhere, but it was red. I think it was that little 49er logo. Remember that thing? Remember the old Shanna hat? Oh, legendary. We got a new one now. Let's go. Let's go. I believe they have these ones in stock, but I don't know how long. I don't know how much longer. You might want to get on it again too. If you guys do want to get your shanty hats, you know what to do. Head to residency.com. Use the promo code DSF Niners. Get a little discount on the shanty hat. But I'm telling you, bro, they're dropping straight fire. And so I'm excited. The next hat they got coming to me is going to be a new release. If you did see it, I think it was the hat that all the rookies were wearing. I'm excited, man. I'm very, very excited. Someone said that I change up the page. No. It's a group. We have the page and then we have a group. So the idea, when we're going back to the other conversation about the Facebook group, is when we get into the season. Obviously, my page, I'm posting content, I'm posting updates, I'm posting my stuff. But for the group page on Facebook, it allows you to post into you can curate the content. That's the whole point. That's why I want to see some mods drop into the channel over on Facebook so you guys can curate your own content and you can use that platform and help continue to grow it too. To also, hey, if you guys ever want to get into 49ers content creation, it could be a great place to start. It could be a great place to get going. So that's it. If you guys want to vibe, help out, be a mod squad, then hell yeah, let's go. All right. Gammon says Nick Brown looking like Bruce Lee. Mod, please. All right, my guys. Again, drop into the Facebook chat. We'll get you set up. We'll get you locked in. And again, that group has grown to over 5,000 followers with just people posting spam into it. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to get that place looking fresh, looking fire. And again, opportunity for you guys kind of start curating your own content within a group that already has followers, and we'll continue to pump more followers over there. So it could be a great start. And two, I'm going to be expanding and growing. So if I can see look at my guys, posting content, maybe that opens up an opportunity later on down the road. So again, you guys remember, go to that particular group and then drop in that you want to be a mod and we'll make it happen. And we start filling that thing up with fire content. Ooh, it's going to be fun during the season. So can't wait for that. All right, that's enough of that stuff. Let's talk about Alex Mack. So here we are on the eve. Not the eve, it's here. OTAs is here, baby. I'm just waiting for the 49ers to start dropping some spicy content. But OTAs is here. And we still don't have an announcement on Alex Mack. We still don't have an announcement on Alex Mack. So I know a lot of people are focused on the Deebo Samuel situation. I know it's a high priority to figure out what's going on with Deebo Samuel. But for me, the highest of priorities is Alex Mack. What is happening with our center, our veteran leader? What is happening with my Alex Mack? I would love to get Alex Mack back. Nothing would make me happier. Nothing would make me feel more confident with the San Francisco 49ers heading into this year with Trey Lance as the starter. Nothing. Ooh. SDS hats? Ooh. Oh. Be on the lookout for a merch drop. Be on the lookout for a SDS merch drop. I'm just saying, could happen any day. You never know. Could just pop up on you. Be on the lookout for the SDS merch, baby. Just saying. But overall, the biggest concern that I have heading into this camp still, not training camp, but OTAs, still remains to be Alex Mack. Alex Mack is pivotal to the success of the San Francisco's 49ers offensive line, which then, of course, as we know, permeates to the entire offense. So it is crucial to at least know what the heck is going on. Again, no official retirement, no official he's coming back. Again, it's OTAs. So if Alex Mack isn't there, it's not an alarm for concern one way or the other, because sometimes veterans don't show up. So sometimes veterans don't show up. That's to be expected, especially with a guy like Alex Mack heading into 13th, 14th year, whatever it is. Whatever it is. But again, same thing applies with Deebo, applies to Alex Mack. Mandatory minicamp, when it is mandatory, then if we get through OTAs, no news, no updates, no nothing about Alex Mack, we get all the way through OTAs, I won't be surprised, but that again moves the goalpost to mandatory minicamp. And then we have to figure out if he's not there at mandatory minicamp, then I think we start walking closer towards maybe he is retiring. Maybe he is. But we're going to find out. That's the biggest one for me. That's the one that, I'm really just, I sit up late at night and I'm just like, what's happening with Alex Mack? What's happening with Alex Mack? Could someone tell me? I just need to know. The Wolverine gif or the meme where he's laying in bed and he's got the picture frame and he's just laying in bed looking at the picture frame. I'm looking at a picture of Alex Mack and I'm just like, Alex, please come back. Don't leave us, please. And I'm like petting the picture frame, like, Alex, please don't leave us. We need you. We need you, man. We need you. But I guess you can look at it two ways. The optimistic way is that he hasn't retired. So there's some optimism there. We've gotten this far through the offs. It's May 23rd, ladies and gentlemen. It's May 23rd, all the way through the draft. San Francisco 49ers didn't really draft an offensive line early to potentially play center. They did draft Zakel, who by all accounts will be a center, in the 6th round, however. And then we know who they brought in for the undrafted free agents with Poe, West. So there's going to be some competition, at least for some backup spots right now. And we know they re-signed Brendel to a 1-year deal last year, who was the center 2 for the majority of the year. So, gonna find out what's going down with that center position. So hopefully we get that squared away. But again, the other aspect of OTAs is no Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't imagine Jimmy Garoppolo will be anywhere near OTAs. I can't imagine Jimmy Garoppolo will be anywhere near mandatory minicamp. So we're going to see Trey Lance with no Jimmy. I think that's going to be, again, I wish I could be a fly on the wall. I wish I could be at practice. I wish I could just watch and observe Trey Lance as the starter, working through his drills, through, if they're doing any 7-on-7 periods, if they do any 9-on-7 periods, or they do any team periods. I would just love to be a fly on the wall and just watch and just see Trey, how he manages, because again, when you talk about Jimmy, when you talk about Trey, you talk about Jimmy in the sense leader, clear-cut leader of the locker room. Well, how does Trey now act and work through OTAs with no Jimmy Garoppolo? He is the unquestioned starter in training camp, or I'm sorry, OTAs and mandatory minicamp. What does that look like? How does he operate? Is he getting good response from his teammates? Is he, what are the balls looking like? Yeah, I know what I said. I'm not taking it back. Woo! Early show, guys. Early show. Earmuffs. Earmuffs. You got kids around, put the earmuffs on. We're getting a little spicy. You know us. We never pause. We plow. We just plow. We keep rolling. That was a good one. Woo. Anyways. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the show must go on. that one's close to derailing me. I'm not gonna lie. It's close to derailing me, but we must continue. All right. Act mature, and keep moving. Okay. So the other things that we're going to be looking for. One of the things that we would be looking for would be mechanics as well. You're not 13 years old. Okay. We're going to be looking at mechanics. We're going to be looking at body language. Oh, I've never been derailed by one of those before. Normally we plow through, but this one's teetering. This one's teetering on the brink of pure just derailing. But I think it's hilarious. Oh my goodness. We're going to be looking at a lot of things. What kind of hat is Kyle Shanahan wearing? We're going to be looking at who's catching the balls. We're going to see who's throwing the balls, who's catching the balls, who's dropping the balls. Very important. Who's snapping the balls. There's going to be a lot of ball watching going on. Who's catching them? Who's dropping them? Who's snapping them? Who's throwing them? Oh my goodness. I love it. Can you smell it? Football's almost here, baby. The good old grab and twist. Oh, you guys. You get the good old grab and twist. If you know, you know. I'm not going to explain that one. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Oh, you guys. Show some decorum. All right. I got to pretend like I'm an adult for a second. We could go on for days with that one. The good old grab and twist. Oh my gosh. But that's what we would be looking for. Like literally, no joke. Who's catching the balls, who's dropping the balls, who's carrying the balls, who's snapping the balls, who's throwing the balls. So running back, what does a running back distribution look like? Is it Elijah Mitchell? Is it TDP? Is it Trey Sermon? What's Trey Sermon looking like? Is Jermichael Hasty going to be able to hold his position, hold his job, hold his balls? God damn it. Damn it. Keep it together. You're an adult. You're an adult. Keep it together. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm not a comedian. That's why I'm laughing. I'm not a comedian. I'm trying to not laugh. Like, I'm trying not to make jokes. That's the whole point. I'm not a comedian. Just because I have a ginger beard doesn't mean I'm a comedian. All right. Back on track. Back on track. Back on track. But I want to find out if we get like a starting offensive line. Who is it? Who's the first group? Who is the first group out? Is it Brunny snapping the balls? Is it West? Is it Zakel? Is it Mack? Who's snapping the balls? That's what I'd be looking for. Who's left guard? Want to see who's at left guard. Left guard will be the chat. It's undefeated right now. I can't share what the chat is saying at the moment, but it is hilarious, and I'm trying to keep it together. But this is how you know it's going to be a good day. This is how you know it's going to be a good day. SDS, we're off to a good start. We're off to a good start of the week. Got to keep things light. Got to keep things loose. Loving it right now. I love it, baby. I love it. Shout out to SDS. You guys don't skip a beat. That's what I love about the SDS. SDS doesn't even skip a beat. They're rolling. They're rolling right now. Shout out to SDS, baby. Oh, I see a Jauan Jennings in the building. We got a Jauan Jennings sighting. Jauan Jennings rocking the fire visor. Let's go. Let's go. Boys are getting there. Boys are getting there. Oh, baby. Boys are getting there. Let's go. All right, let's take a look. Look at Jauan, baby. Let's look at Jauan. Hey, is Jauan? Does Jauan's production take a hit with all the additions? Does Jauan Jennings take a hit? Or does Jauan Jennings kind of have a solidified role as like a big slot? We know Mo Sanu right now. But all right, look at the guy. Let's go. Let's go, Jauan. To the moon, baby. So, but it's gonna be interesting to see. Gammon. Look at Gammon, man. Look at Gammon. Alex Mack has noted precipitation problems, which require him to change his pants. He's forced into retirement because there's no one to try the balls. You son of a gun, Gammon. You son of a gun. This is a good one. Today's a good episode. This was a good episode today. But I don't know. I think there's a role for Jauan, regardless. Again, you got Danny Gray. You can't forget about Ray McLeod either. I know Ray McLeod has an opportunity to be a big time returner and kind of an offensive weapon, but I think it does matter. It does matter in regards to the big slot position. So, hey, man. I think Jauan's still going to ball. I think he has his role. Again, when we look at Jauan, it just felt like he was a third down converting machine. He was a touchdown machine. Dude was relentless when it came to conversion. and big catches when we needed it. He really caught those balls well. He did. He did. He did a phenomenal job. He did a good job. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see some content from the 49ers. I want to see some of these new Niners in their new gear. Anyone you guys are looking forward to this year that maybe isn't someone that we talk about every day? We talk a lot about the Kittles, the Ayuks, the Deebos, of course, but from the offensive side, who is someone that you're really looking forward to this year that could be a big time contributor that we don't talk about enough? Again, there's a lot of weapons on this team. The depth is fantastic. Cap says, feel like our wide receiver group is going to change game to game. I think so. Danny G, Danny Gray, another Gray, Ray. I'm excited to see what Ray looks like and how Kyle could use him. Again, we don't talk about him enough, especially with the bringing in Danny Gray, but very excited about that. Juice, can we get Juice more receptions? Can we get some more receptions for Juice? Oh yeah, the hive is buzzing. Justin, Jordan Mason. I'm excited for Jordan Mason too. Justin's got me hyped up on Jordan Mason too. I'm super excited about that. Let's see, Lenore. That's on the defensive side. We got Ray. Brunel says, I have a feeling Trey Sermon will ball out this year. Again, we've also kind of casted Trey Sermon off to the side. We kind of casted Trey Sermon off. I posted a video today of Trey Sermon doing some balancing work ahead of OTAs. If Trey Sermon can just get the feel for finding the running lanes and setting up the running lanes and hitting them with proper timing, he is a physical specimen. He does not go down at first contact. He has the ability, speed, and cutting agility that's needed. It's just combining it with the vision and being able to set things up and cut literally on a dime. And if he can do that, I still also have hope for Trey Sermon. I'm not relegating Trey Sermon to the phantom realm yet, but a lot of people are. So it's going to be interesting. TDP, I imagine TDP is going to get some run for sure. For sure. Return of the school. Oh, baby. Ray says Jennings will make more of an impact. Could be. JC says he's got to hold on to those balls, though. Ray, that is. Joey says Warner feel like he steps up his game. And we didn't even talk about the tight ends, bro. How dare me? We didn't even talk about the tight ends. 49ers signed a tight end today. And in my opinion, that puts Dwelly on notice. I think that is going to be the biggest impact of these signings. We talked about it last week. When I had mentioned that the 49ers, first of all, when they had Troy, Fumagalli, and they also had another veteran tight end at the rookie minicamp, I was like, ooh, well, that's something to look for, because I've been adamant about how, Ross Dwelly took a significant step back to the point where he got benched for Charlie Warner. And we really never saw Ross Dwelly reemerge. We got the touchdown from Ross week 4. against Seattle. That was the last we really saw of Ross Dwelly. That's really the last that we saw. Ross was the starting tight end heading into week 5. For the first half, he was starting tight end. And they had to switch roles with Charlie Warner. And then at that point, the rest of the year, when George Kittle came back, it was Kittle and Warner. It was not Kittle and Dwelly. So I think all these tight end moves are particularly putting Dwelly on the bubble. I think Warner's safe. I think Warner has proven again. I've watched, and Kyle likes to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. He loves to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. He doesn't necessarily want to throw out of 2 tight end sets. He's running out of 2 tight end sets, and you have to be able to block. Warner it's just part of his DNA. He knows how to block. He has the ability to catch, but they don't rely on him for those reasons. The tight end 2 in Kyle's offense is a blocker, and almost solely a blocker, which is why Warner jumped Dwelly. I thought Dwelly was going to emerge this last season as a legitimate tight end. Like, I was even going as far as saying the 49ers had the best tight end tandem in the league with Kittle and Dwelly, but Dwelly just felt like, I think Dwelly's a really good receiving tight end, but he was lacking in the run game. And so these moves that are being made, again, the 49ers signed Troy Fumagalli last week. They now signed Tyler Kroft this week. I think Kroft is he was starting last year for the Jets. Kroft is someone that I've been having had an eye on for a while, specifically with the Jets, because I was a big Herndon guy for fantasy. So Herndon was with the Jets, and Herndon couldn't beat out Tyler Kroft. Herndon is exceptionally better athlete, but he could not beat out Tyler Kroft. So, and when you look at Tyler Kroft's game, he's a good blocker. He knows his assignments. He's going to do his job, and he can be a threat as a wide receiver, or a receiver, I should say. So when I looked at this signing of Tyler Kroft, I almost instantly said, I kind of feel like I know who the starting tight end, or the 3 tight ends that the 49ers are going to carry. I assume it's going to be George Kittle, of course. I think Charlie Warner earned his spot. And then I feel like if you put this guy into a competition with Ross Dwelly, Ross is going to be feeling it, because he can block. He can block well, and he can catch well. And he's a veteran in this league, 7 years in the league, coming from the New York Jets, meaning he knows Kyle's system already, because LaFleur is running it as the OC for the Jets. So he already knows the offense. So if the 49ers are going into the season with Kittle, Warner, and Kroft, I actually feel pretty good about that. I'd actually feel, just based on the surface right now, logging everything that I remember from Ross Dwelly last season, if it's Kittle, Warner, and Kroft, to me, that's a pretty solid tight end room. I feel like Warner, he can earn it back, at least from my perspective. It's just, I just saw Dwelly just diminish as a blocker, which was ultimately why he got benched, and why we didn't see much of him the remainder of the year. So these signings, to me, are the reason to put that tight end 3 spot on notice. Like, the 49ers clearly aren't pleased with that position, which is why they keep bringing in guys. So all that kinds of things. And EMA's saying, check his catch percentages. The reason Ross is in this predicament isn't because of his hands. he's a phenomenal wide receiver. Like, he catches almost anything. But just as Cap says, you don't block, you ain't getting the rock. He wants to get his hands on those balls, he's got to block. And we know it's a prerequisite to be able to be a tight end in the system. And that's where we saw Dwelly fall a little short last year. So that's why I think when you can get a guy like this who can do both and has done both at a high level for years, not a high level, but a good, like, quality level, I think that's why Croft might edge him out. If I had to put a prediction to it right now, that's my prediction. Tight end room is going to be Warner, Kittle, and Croft. That's where I would have it right now. Obviously, training camp can change that. When you see these guys competing, maybe Ross has spent all offseason on his blocking, and he comes out completely dedicated and completely transformed as a blocker. Then we're having a different conversation. But if that doesn't happen, then I would imagine that Croft actually eventually overtakes him. So it is something that we will monitor. But hey, I think these moves continue to indicate that Dwelly is on the bubble. So we're gonna have to continue again. That's why it's going to be another. We now have some intrigue at the tight end position in regards to some camp battles. So excited about that. That's going to be another good position to watch. But overall, pretty excited about what we have coming up, because there's going to be a lot of exactly that. A lot of battles, a lot of competition, a lot of guys trying to compete for roster spots. The 49ers are deep in a lot of places. Obviously, there's questions across the offensive line. However, there's a lot of depth at that position. Now the tight end position, there's some decent depth there now. We have at least 5 quality tight ends competing for 3 spots. That's a good problem to have. You look at the running back room. You got who? Elijah Mitchell. You got Jeff Wilson, TDP, Trey Sermon, Jermichael Hasty. You got Jordan Mason. So you all of a sudden, that running back room is looking pretty nice. We'll look at the wide receivers. I mean, the wide receiver depth is insane. There's tons of wide receivers, and obviously we know Deebo Samuel's not going to be there for OTAs, but there's a ton of wide receivers now. Defensive line, we already know the pure sheer numbers that they have are intense, and they have a lot of quality guys. It's not just numbers to have numbers. They have quality guys on the defensive line. And then, I mean, we might even have a little like competition for like backup fullback. Like if they put Poe as like a H-back center against Hockett, who I really like as well. Hockett is nice, like as a receiver out of the backfield. Again, he's proved to be a decent blocker. Like I think Hockett could be on a team this year. Could have been last year. Like Hockett is kind of, they just like, no one carries fullbacks, so they just have this like flexibility to just kind of keep them around. So Hockett's a guy that, and maybe Poe kind of going at it. Could be very interesting to see how that plays out. But again, linebackers, they have like that last linebacker spot. I don't think anyone's competing against Fred, Trey, or Al-Shaair. Where the competition is coming is for those last spots, the special team role. Again, you got Oren Burks, who the 49ers signed. I imagine he's going to stick around. So there's 4 linebackers that I don't think are really in a ton of competition. DFF, I think, has been put on notice. You got these hybrids like Segun Olui, Jeremiah Gemmel, these undrafted free agent guys. Who knows if these kind of safety hybrids could transition to be a linebacker, like Leon O'Neal Jr. maybe he could transition to be a in the box linebacker or off ball linebacker. It's going to be so that position is going to be very interesting to monitor. Of course, cornerback. Who's going to be the nickel? Who's going to be the nickel? Is it going to be Womack? Is it going to be Diamador Lenore? Who's going to be the two outside corners? Is it going to be West? Is it going to be Verrett? Is it going to be Mosley? Is it going to be Ambry? These are good problems to have in that safety. Who's going to be the starter across from the legend, Jimmy Ward? So is it going to be Talanoa, Odom, Tarvarius Ward? Is it going to be one of these undrafted free agent guys? There's a lot of questions, but good questions. Good questions. Great questions to have. So again, I don't know if we will get any clarity on any of those types of things. Who's lining up with which group? Who are the starters in team period? I don't know if that will be occurring, but going to be interesting to see. Going to be interesting to see how that all works out. Again, if we get anything from OTAs, then absolutely we will be all over it. But gonna find out. Got a lot to figure out. So this is what we're gonna do. We did it early. I did an early one today. So the point and hope is that we get something from OTAs to kind of talk about. And then I should be coming back on for another live, but hopefully with more things to discuss about OTAs. Maybe we'll get some clips, something. That's what we're on the lookout for right now. So I will be back hopefully later, probably around 1:30 or 2. And again, the hope is to get some more content coming in from OTAs. So looking forward to that. So be on the lookout as we continue to keep searching and hunting for answers surrounding the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm excited. Again, OTAs have arrived. They start today. They could be technically underway. I don't think that they are open to the media today. I don't think it's open to the media today, so I don't think beat reporters or anyone will be there to cover it. So we are reliant on the 49ers for anything to come out. I imagine we'll get a hype video, short little cut-ups and things like that. So we might not get much of anything in regards to like starting lineups or projected starting lineups or who's running out with the first group and all that kind of stuff. But again, we'll continue to monitor it. We'll continue to watch. And the plan is to come back on for a later live. So again, shout out to everyone who vibed today. Shout out to SDS. We had a nice little fun time on this particular episode. Shout out to everyone who vibes with your boy. As always, I appreciate you guys. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Hit that sub if you're not subscribed yet. Again, anyone open to being a mod in the Facebook group, go pop over, drop a comment onto that particular page, and I will get you modded up super fast. And we're going to get that group buzzing. So excited for that. And again, shout out to everyone who tapped in. Appreciate all you guys. And we will be back later. So hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss when we go live. And I will see you guys in a little bit. Until then, peace.